Welcome to Tune In Tuesdays. You've reached the Patriettes podcast. We are coming to you live right from the America First Warehouse, the most patriotic venue and production studio in all the land. And we have an exciting night tonight. We have a dear friend with us, Kenny Simmons, and joining us, our panel here, Donna, myself, and Angie. We're missing our girls, Shannon and Crystal, but we love you guys, and we'll see you next week.
That's right.
We tune in every Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. on all of our platforms and our website. And we're going to get right to it because we have a packed show. So we are going to welcome Kenneth Simmons, who's become a very dear friend in a very short time, right? We have a Patriot bond and a brother here. He's an amazing story that we're going to share with you. Ken is a Marine, and we had a beautiful moment with two Marines in the room right before we went on air.
Yeah.
Warmed my heart.
Aww.
And he's a 9/11 first responder and survivor. And when you hear his story, you will be blown away. He's a filmmaker, and he is a stuntman, and he's a producer. And he, on September 11th in 2001, which is hard to believe that it's this many years later, and you feel it so raw when he tells the story, but he ran right into the World Trade Center on September 11th that year. I got chills.
When everybody was running out.
When everybody was running out. And that, to me, is the heart of a true Marine.
That's right.
And I always say the New Yorkers have the grit that nobody else has.
Yep.
And he turned his survival into a mission to honor America's unsung heroes. This is his story of sacrifice and the enduring American spirit. So we're going to cue up, I don't have that asset, but I think we're going to cue up something, right, first?
Yeah, we had cuts. Well, those are from the medallion.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
We had a video. Are we showing his video tonight? We had it in the commercials.
I didn't have it. No.
All right, so we're just going to write to the man himself then. We don't need the assets. We got him right here in the flesh. Thank God, from the story that he has. So Kenny,
Welcome.
I learned more about you on the morning show, and wow. Wow. So I think I'm just going to let you take the floor and tell your story.
Wow.
You want to just go with the story? You want to, because we'll touch upon the necklace and we'll get to that. But really, what you said this morning, I think the audience needs to hear.
Well, I said that this morning. Would you like me to continue from where I was at, or you would like me to say that all over again?
No, new audience. You can say it over again.
Okay.
If you can get it out. It was tough to get out. It was compelling.
What happened on September 11th was early at 8:30 in the morning. A little after that, I got a phone call in the morning. I just finished doing a show 2 days prior to that at the MGM Grand with my good friend George Carlin. And George Carlin was telling me about why comedy sucked today compared to what he went through, because they had so many. They had the Civil Rights Act, they had Vietnam, they had the drug LSD, they had heroin and cocaine. They had all this that they were fighting with and going through at the same time. So they had turmoils, and where he said today they put a brick wall up, they give a couple guys a couple drinks, they sell a couple tickets to their friends, put some chairs out, and that's stand-up comedy. And he said, you never went through anything today, so most comics today don't understand what that is. So when he called me up and the phone rang, and I picked up the phone, and, hey, George, he says, you got the TV on? I said, no. He said, turn the TV on, Ken. Turn the TV on, and of course it was on every channel. And the plane had hit the World Trade Center, and I started getting dressed right away. He said, what are you doing? I said, I got to get down there. What? I got to go. He said, you can't go down there. Those buildings are going to come down. I said, those buildings are going to come down, but people are dying. I got to get down there. So I got dressed and rushed out. I caught the 1 of the 9. I went on the red line, got off down there on Chambers Street, got out of Chambers Street. I start running down the block, and I'm looking up, and I see the second plane blast into the building. So I run right up to the beginning, and I enter the North Tower. I walk into the North Tower, and everybody looked at me. They just must have thought I was a cop, because no one was stopping me. As I'm running down the streets, everybody's running the other way. Even police officers, where are you going? You can't go that way. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I'm going in.
I had to go.
Yeah.
Well, you're trained to be you're the first line of defense in the military, so you're just trained that way, I think.
I didn't, it wasn't a thought. So I get inside the building, and this is a different part of the story. I get inside the building, I'm in there, and I look to my left, and I see Father Judd walk in. He walks into the World Trade Center, and I see 3 firefighters walk up to him. And he said something to them. The guy turned at me, looked at me, pointed to my camera. He said, tell my wife I love him.
Oh,
This is a one-way trip. I was like, what? And I look at Father Judd, And from the time he walked in to the time those men turned and went up the back steps was 1 minute, 38 seconds. Tower shook. Father Judd dropped dead right there on the spot.
Oh my God.
People were running in every direction. I ran for the escalator. I had to get up and out of there. I never thought about I start just going up the escalator with so many other people, and I'm running past them, pulling people, looking up, and I'm looking up, and I see it coming down, and it looked like a river. Giant pieces the size of this desk, all the way out to those chairs. One little piece, that's how big it was.
Wow.
But it looked like pieces of sand, smooth coming down. I looked up and I said, wow, and I just jumped over the side. At least 2 stories, I went straight down and I landed straight on the tile. My feet were burning after that. They didn't burn that second because I rolled over and went down the stairs. Now I'm in the subway. So I'm running through the subway and it's pitch black, coughing, gagging. I'm thinking, whatever you do, don't fall onto the tracks. Don't fall onto the tracks. And then I see these lights coming through, these lights flashing through. And they come, and meanwhile, I had a Panasonic camera in my hand. And I'm just filming. But I'm not going like this. I just didn't turn it off. So it's still capturing stuff, but from down by my waist.
Right.
And these men come running by, and I followed them because they had flashlights on. I was gagging and put my shirt up, and I'm running. And we came out, went through the subway, came up, and came out the Millennium Hotel into the lobby. Now, when I was in the lobby and I was filming, I'm standing there and I'm looking at the windows. They were all blown out. I wasn't there when an impact took place. I came in afterwards, immediately afterwards. And I'm looking, and I could hear boom, boom, and I never knew what that sound was. But it was 10 years later when I pulled this bag from under my bed, and I realized that's my camera from
Oh my
9/11.
gosh, you never even looked at the
No.
footage. Wow.
So I pulled it out, and I couldn't get it to go on, so I took the tape out, and I put it in a playback deck and played it.
Wow.
And I was like, what is that noise? What is that noise? But my camera captured it. It was the bodies sitting above me. Boom, boom, boom. And I remember turning at the time and looking at the blown out windows. And I saw the bodies landing out there from up there. And I started running for the windows. And this firefighter, police officers, grabbed a hold of me and said, where are you going? You can't go out there. And I'm like, hey, get away from me. I got to go out there. We got to get them. And the guy goes, what's the matter with you? They're dead. I said, don't you hear him?
Oh.
I said, don't you hear him? He's still alive. He said, you can't go out there. They pull me back in. I'm standing in the back, and my back is up against the wall. And I'm looking, and there's a guy down there, and he's on a phone in a corner. And he's hitting the phone over and over. He's clicking it, clicking it. And I'm like, what is that guy doing? But it wasn't until years later when I played back the footage that I realized he kept trying to get the men in the elevator to answer. The elevator that fell the 94 floors down.
He had no idea.
He never, no, he was gone already.
Oh.
He was gone. He was PTSD to the max. And that man that filmed that, he was gone. And all the people that I saw in there, they were gone. So I come up out of the North Tower. I'm walking down the street. I'm heading towards the Burger King. I looked at the Burger King and I thought, oh, let me go to Burger King. But there was nobody in any buildings. And I heard this noise and I turned and I saw the South Tower come down and blow, backwards. It threw me like 60, 70 yards backwards. I sit up and all I had on was a guinea tea. So where's my shirt? Where's my pants? My underwear's still on. My shoes and socks are on. Where's my pants?
Holy crap.
And I saw this dust everywhere, and I couldn't see in front of me. And I saw the explosions and the gas and the lights and the popping and the crackling. And I was sitting there looking, and I'm thinking, wow, is this a dream? Did I die? Did I go to hell? Because I see this bright light. So I start walking towards the bright light. And when I got close to the bright light, it was the Burger King sign.
Oh my gosh.
It was the only
God.
light on
The only thing
in
left.
that whole area. So I walked inside Burger King and sat down. And I saw the French fries. I saw the water. I saw the sodas. And I was like, oh, get a soda. Couldn't touch the soda. Maybe just get a water. Couldn't touch the water. Couldn't touch anything. I just sat there looking outside. And for 6 hours, I saw no one. I had left there, and I walked across the street to Brooks Brothers. Went into Brooks Brothers and got clothes to put on. And then 2 days later, the Red Cross showed up, and they gave me clothes.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my God! Listen, I hate to even do this right now.
I
'cause
know.
I'm so
I
engulfed
know.
in this
I
story.
know.
We have 30 seconds left. We're going to go to commercial break, and then we got to bring on Peter Tickton. So we're going to have to come back to this in a little bit later in the episode. Probably.
That's no
We'll
problem.
see. I hate to even stop you in the middle of this. I mean, this is. I want people to remember that we forget so easily. and
Yes.
even though it was 24
24
years ago.
24 years
It's
this
so raw.
Thursday.
It's bringing back. I can't even imagine. You could see it in your eyes. In your
Yes,
story.
you hear it in your
I want
voice.
the world to remember what happened on September 11th, 2001.
One.
And we're going to go to commercial. We're going to bring on Peter Tickton, Donald Trump's good friend and lawyer, and we will be back in a second.
And Kenny will stay with us.
Hey, Rav family and War Room Posse, mark your calendar. September 12th and 13th, the Rebels, Rogues, and Outlaws Tour is coming to the America First Warehouse.
I have never seen anything like this.
2 unforgettable days filled with Patriots, barbecue, and live shows straight from the most amazing place, the America First Warehouse. Get ready for a special guest to be announced, plus a 3-hour live episode of Studio 6B.
And we're just going to go do it.
On the 12th, Steve Bannon will host War Room Live at 5 p.m. And Steve will be back again on the 13th. Woo! Followed by 1 hour with Peter Navarro.
I went to prison so you won't have to.
The Rebels, Rogues, and Outlaws Tour, September 12th and 13th at the America First Warehouse. Scan the QR code to see pricing and availability. Don't miss this opportunity. Tickets won't last.
Corporate transfer. Find professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
Hey, fellow Patriots, it's Cindy Gross here, host of Right for America, from your favorite place, the America First Warehouse. You've seen me show on my show so many products from this country's #1 most patriotic manufacturer with close to 400 products. You need to exchange the products you use in your house to this company and make your dollars count in our country.
Freddie Rubino here at the America First Warehouse. I'm inviting you to the live taping of the Not So Newlywed Show. Just click on the QR code right above my shoulder and you can get tickets. Live taping of the Not So Newlywed Show. Drinks, snacks, it's a great time. We'll see you there October 18th.
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
Welcome back to the Patriots podcast. Thank you for tuning in. We just heard a part of an extremely compelling story with Kenneth Simmons. I'm going to come back to that at the end of the show. But right now, we're going to bring to you a very special man that we got to meet a few weeks ago, back in August, and that is Peter Tickton. Do we have him on with it? There he is. Hi, Peter. How are you?
Hi. Wonderful to be here.
Thank
Hi,
you.
Peter.
Welcome to our show tonight. I just want to let the audience know, for those who might not know, Peter is a trial lawyer. an author and a longtime friend of Donald J. Trump, our wonderful president, from serving as Trump's platoon sergeant at the New York Military Academy to founding the Ticton Law Group. Peter has spent decades in the courtroom handling high-profile cases. He has also authored What Makes Trump Tick, which we have right here.
Yep. Control, if you can pull up cuts 6 and 7, please.
To show that. And he's going to be sharing his personal insights from their lifelong friendship. Please give Peter a warm welcome with us. He really captivated us at the event we were at with him at PERC back in August. And Peter, we are honored to have you here.
It's my pleasure entirely. By the way, when you say that I was Donald Trump's platoon sergeant, in our senior year, we were together that year. We were both 17. And he was the captain of the company, Company A. And he appointed me to be one of his platoon sergeants.
Wow.
The platoon sergeant of the first platoon, which doesn't mean anything to most people, but the platoon sergeant is the one where the entire platoon, basically, when you march, for instance, your eyes are to the right and you line up directly behind the person in front of you. So the guy in the right-hand front is the one that sets the pace and the direction, and then so that was the first platoon of A company, followed by the second platoon, followed by B company, followed by C company, followed by D company, followed by F and G. So so that's that. So we kind of were in charge of making sure that we paraded correctly. But I wasn't his
boys
sergeant.
becoming men,
right?
Yeah,
and then who would
my
have thought?
subordinate.
All these years later, you would then become his attorney, and then he would become your president, right? It's like a crazy full circle story.
Yeah, who would have thought? Actually, if anybody, I would have guessed him if we knew that one of us in our class was going to be the president of the United States.
Wow.
It would have either been him or James Eisenhower, because his.
That's incredible. And I have the theory that there's a grit from New Yorkers. I say it every show now, because I'm starting to see that there's a little bit of a pattern here with people that come from New York that fight for our country. I feel like there's a little special edge there. So, and you really, really moved us at the PERC event. I mean, that's why we came up to you at the end, because you said things that we say and feel, and it's just great to know there's people out there fighting for us, especially lawyers, that we need you guys for this fight that we're trying to save our country.
Yeah. Can you tell us, Peter, a little bit about the journey that you've had and kind of what led you to where you are now, and just fill us and our audience in a little bit, because they weren't as fortunate as we were to hear you speak at Trump International.
Well, in terms of my life, of course, we all have our stories to tell. I was supposed to be a doctor. My father's a doctor. That's part of the reason I went to New York Military Academy, was to get into the college of my choice, which was Columbia University. And I got in there, but I was able to skip a year by going up to be with my brother who was in Canada. Anyway, it's a long story, but I did get into medical school, but I realized I didn't really want to be a doctor. And then when I saw what being a lawyer was, I wanted to do that. So I switched over from medical school to law school, and the rest is kind of history. So at first I was a barrister up in Ontario, and then I came down to Florida decades, 35 years ago, and became a lawyer down here in Florida. Concentrated on civil litigation, where before I did criminal. But in any event, there's so much going on right now. When I did become a lawyer to Donald Trump, that was thanks to Alina Hava. It wasn't because of my friendship with Donald Trump from before. In fact, when I would see Donald in the in the years in between, it was like anybody else that would run into an old friend from high school. Recently, he did say that I was his best friend in high school, to another friend of ours. And so I always felt that, but we weren't kids. We were in a military academy. It wasn't just high school. And, so it wasn't like we were holding hands saying, oh, we're best friends. I mean, we were treated like men, and we acted like men. In any event, New York Military Academy was where we got to know each other really well. But that didn't lead to when we would meet in later years. It's kind of like if you met somebody from high school, you'd years later, from time to time, there's kind of a love there, but there's not that much to talk about because you've got your business, you've got what you're doing. He or she's got what they're doing.
There's a
And
shared history that bonds you, but
People have lives, but when you kind of like reconnect, I know with my old girlfriend from childhood, it's still like yesterday when you connect back together again. You remember the old times.
Right. Well, we went through a lot. I mean, it wasn't like going to high school these days. I mean, things happened in those days. I mean, we went through the Cuban Missile Crisis together. We, most people my age, when they were asked, do you know where you were when John Kennedy was shot, they're able to think back and they know exactly where they were, and I can too. I remember I was in American history class. We had 12 students in the class, 2 rows of 6, and to my front and to the right by 2 seats was Donald Trump. And then the guy that was right in front of me, when another student had come in and another cadet came in and let us know that the president had been shot, and this fellow stood up and he said, believe it or not, this way how can anybody do this? But he did. He stood up and he said, "Oh, good, I hope he dies." And then 3 other guys from the front row just went and grabbed him and threw him right down into a seat. And I can't swear to it, but I'm fairly certain that Donald Trump was one of those 3 guys.
wouldn't be surprised, right?
Yeah, we were in the Army. We were in ROTC in high school, but it was but we were basically full-time Army, and our commander-in-chief was our president.
Right.
Didn't matter. In those days, it didn't really make that much difference to most of us, Democrat or Republican. I mean, maybe our families voted one way or another, but in those days, Democrats and Republicans weren't that far apart.
Right.
Yeah.
So polarizing.
Today our Democrat Party has been taken over by horrible forces, and foreign forces.
Yeah.
And so it's not really a Democrat-Republican party anymore now. Frankly, it's MAGA.
That's right.
versus
Because let's face it, even the Republican Party was infiltrated.
Sure
and,
was.
I
Yeah.
mean, there are globalists, global agendas that have taken over our country very
100%.
clearly.
100%.
Very clearly. And it's MAGA. It's America first. America
right.
first,
It's a new
make
party.
America great. Remember our Constitution and our sovereignty. That's really what it's about. That's what MAGA is.
Sure is.
Yep. And so
there was
Peter,
only one man. It was only one man that could implement it. There was only one man that could actually get our country back again. And it's a process. We're not there yet. The people that took our country over for 4 years. I mean, think about it. The United States of America was actually taken over. If you know, as I do, because I've seen evidence that the election was stolen.
Yep.
I mean, there's no question about it when you think about it, right? I mean, just think of the most basic aspects of what happened in 2020. No state in the history of the United States, wartime, whatever emergencies going on, no state ever stopped the count in the history of the United States. And then all of a sudden, when in 4 swing states where Donald Trump is way ahead, they stopped
At the same time.
I went to bed. I went to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning and woke up at
What a
7:30.
coincidence! I mean, if
Yeah.
you believe in that as a coincidence, then then you're not smart.
Yeah, I remember watching videos on my phone in Pennsylvania where they were covering the windows with pizza boxes, and
Yeah.
they were completely shutting
Yep.
Oh yeah, but
Trying
you
to
know, that
learn
was,
what
out,
they were
yeah.
doing. Yeah.
that was
Suitcases
the
in
least of
Georgia.
it. Believe me, the machines are corrupt. I represent Tina Peters, and we're working on that. But one of the reasons she's an American hero is just because she stood up and allowed herself to be put in a position where she is in prison now. But it's
She's a
because
hero. She really
she's
is a hero.
absolutely- She's an American
Tina
hero.
Peters.
because
Oh, yeah.
We have evidence, thanks to her, as to what these machines are, because she imaged the machine. That's why it's amazing. She's in prison because she wanted to preserve the evidence She's in prison because she wanted the truth to be known. And the people who want us deceived, and the people who want to destroy evidence, they're the ones that put her there.
Yeah. Well, I remember Sidney Powell released the Kraken. I mean, I don't know whatever happened with Sidney and all of that.
Well,
but
we all wanted the
I
Kraken
believe the
release. It's coming.
I believe the Kraken is still waiting to
Me too.
be released.
we're ready. We're ready. We're ready.
Trump works very methodically, and I
Yeah.
trust that man. So I do think
Yeah.
it's coming. We're
waiting.
Kraken released 4 years ago, but I believe that it's going to come in this next year. I really do.
Things are
Lining up.
Yes, you're going to have many stories going on at one time.
I believe that. I don't think he's rushing like
Nope.
they did to
Nope.
crucify him.
Nope.
He's taking his time, so when it comes out, it sticks.
That's right.
He's playing 5D chess, and he works with law and order, and he
That's
makes
right.
people follow the process. He lets the American people call on him to tell them what we
they want him to do. That's right.
And that's how he's been operating. And I'm here for it. I'm excited. We are going to cut to commercial break in a couple of minutes. Peter, you're going to stay with us for the next segment, right? You're good to stay with us?
Absolutely.
All right,
yes,
we're going to
yes.
come back in a couple of minutes. We're going to talk about Peter's book. I love the title, What Makes Trump Tick. We'll get to that in a little bit and let you know where you can find Peter. But this is such an honor to have you here again, and we will be right back from commercial break. Stay tuned.
Hey, Rav family and War Room Posse, mark your calendar. September 12th and 13th, the Rebels, Rogues, and Outlaws Tour is coming to the America First Warehouse.
I have never seen anything like this.
2 unforgettable days filled with Patriots, barbecue, and live shows straight from the most amazing place, the America First Warehouse. Get ready for a special guest to be announced, plus a 3-hour live episode of Studio 6B.
And we're just going to go do it.
On the 12th, Steve Bannon will host War Room Live at 5 p.m. And Steve will be back again on the 13th. Woo! Followed by 1 hour with Peter Navarro.
I went to prison so you won't have to.
The Rebels, Rogues, and Outlaws Tour, September 12th and 13th at the America First Warehouse. Scan the QR code to see pricing and availability. Don't miss this opportunity. Tickets won't last.
Corrupt judges, broken families, families torn apart. This isn't justice. If you've been wronged by the system, join us. Don't stand alone. Hi, I'm Gary Jacobs, president of Americans for Legal Reform. We're the oldest legal reform group in the United States. The justice system in the United States should be transparent, fair, and open to everybody and accessible. Unfortunately, many times that's not the case. At Americans for Legal Reform, we are here to help. Join the movement. Visit AmericansForLegalReform.com and help reform the system before it fails you.
The America First Warehouse Ultra MAGA Store for all your MAGA needs. We sell t-shirts, tumblers, flags, hats, sneakers, bumper stickers, and a whole lot more. The most patriotic America First retail store. The America First Warehouse Ultra MAGA Store.
It's Tuesday here at the America First Warehouse. I am Joe the Box.
And I'm John the Blanket.
Freddie Rubino here with my podcast. That's what I'm talking about. Coming to you live from the most patriotic venue in the land.
Welcome to Right for America.
I'm James Justice. We got Stephen Ruth over here. What are we doing, Steve? Fighting!
Welcome to Tune In Tuesday of the Patriots podcast, live streaming every Tuesday night at 7:30.
Another edition of On the Right Side here, and you can catch us weekly, Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.
And welcome to Liberty's Cage, where we rip the veil off America's broken justice system, prisons that crush spirits, and a society that shuns people who have paid their price.
Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Kevin Downey Jr. podcast. Be free, stay free.
Welcome to Suffocating in Suburbia with me, your host, Stevie GB.
Welcome back to the Patriots podcast. Thank you for tuning in. We have a special guest with us. We have 2 special guests with us tonight. We have Kenneth Simmons that told a lot of his story in the first segment. And right now we have an honor here to have Peter Tickton on with us. A longtime friend of President Trump, a phenomenal lawyer and a freedom fighter and a total patriot. So we're going to get back into what makes Peter tick.
Very good.
Thanks. I just came up with it today. So, I know, Ange, you were thinking about.
Yeah, I wanted to just touch on too the whole weaponization and the lawfare that's been going on, and how do you see things resolving, and justice coming, and the addressing of these judges that continue to, use lawfare to.
Great question.
Yeah.
Right, and they're still doing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do we escape it?
Ed Martin is very busy. He's the head of the weaponization department at the Department of Justice. Also, he was recently appointed kind of as the quarterback on the 2020 election. And the 2020 election includes the entire fiasco of January 6th. So one thing you might not realize or know is that in 2021, President Trump asked me to take charge of marshaling the evidence regarding the January 6th. For 9 months, that's what I did.
Really? Wow.
Yes. And I reported directly to the president with the findings of what we found. And what we found were things that you have no idea. You don't know this because it hasn't been released to the public, but we are attempting to get it out there, and we will get it out there.
That's exciting. That's very exciting. Mm-hmm.
Well, January 6th was actually planned in advance.
Oh yeah, that we know.
Yeah. We've got videotapes of the meetings that people had on Zoom with hundreds of people.
Oh wow,
where
that's
they
interesting.
Yes, they literally spoke of breaking the windows in the Capitol building in order to get into the building on January 6th. This was planned, as I said, in advance.
Wow. Well, Trump always said, "We have it all, we caught it all." Right. He has. He said it.
And you were talking in terms of what's he going to do in terms of bringing justice about. Well, you can see he's doing it every day. It's like Christmas, under Donald Trump.
I say that too.
Surprise. Yeah, it's another surprise.
You wake up and you're like, "What has he got for us today?"
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's got the guts to actually do what he can see needs to be done. He fixes things.
Yeah.
Whether it's a skating ring in New York or whatever it is, if something's broken, he's able to analyze it, see what it is, and get it fixed. The country is broken right now. But I will tell you this: there's only one pivotal point that we need to worry about. Everything is important. Believe me, getting Tina Peters out of prison, that's really important, especially to me because I'm her lead counsel. Getting so many of the things done that we need to get done, whether it's straightening out Venezuela, whether it's dealing with the war in Russia, Ukraine, but whether it's dealing with China and what they've done to us in terms of them being actually in war with us, whether we know it or not. All of these things are mega important. They are mega important. But there's one pivotal point, and that pivotal point as to whether we keep America or we lose America is whether or not we have a presidential emergency that's declared that acknowledges that the voter rolls are completely corrupted, and in fact the entire election system with the machines is corrupted as well.
Yeah,
very corrupt.
They have to get away from these electronic machines
Back to
and
paper ballots,
and hand
identification, voter ID.
Yep.
Paper ballots and voter ID. Old school.
The Constitution calls for only the legislatures of the states to make these rules unless Congress sees that they're favoring one party or another.
Right.
They're doing something to affect the outcome of the election, and that they can be overruled by Congress. But that whole thing is going to take too long. And there were some things that happened this very last time in 2024 that prevented some of the machines that were in Serbia from actually working.
Right.
And without that, we would have lost. But somebody was brave and did the right thing. But that's not going to happen again. they're never going to have a lack of redundancy, and they're never going to be located where we know where they are.
That's right.
So that was our one shot that way. So the only thing we can do is we need to be able to straighten out the way that we vote. It's got to be paper ballots. It's got to be hand counted. And that's going to be up to the president to make sure that those declarations are made and that we proceed as we need to. Because without a presidential emergency, constitutionally, he doesn't have the right to make the change.
Right.
That's right.
The states
But there
have.
should be emergency. It's
Yeah.
a no-brainer for an emergency because what we've got is corrupted.
That's right.
We've got millions and millions and millions of false people that don't even exist that are in the voter rolls that get pulled out, they vote, and then they're put back down. You might have referred to as different things. We call them modified duplicates.
Yeah.
Dead people voting.
That's right. Well,
No, they're not dead people.
Modified
They're
duplicates. you
real
call them.
people. So in other words, there should only be one Peter Tickton.
Right.
That's
by
right.
my count.
Right.
Right.
There shouldn't be another Peter Tickton in another state
Anywhere.
with a different address, maybe a year younger or older.
There was
voting.
There was
Still,
800
no,
duplicates.
In my very state, there could be 2, there could be 4 Peter Ticktons,
Oh my
all
goodness.
with my same social security
right.
number, all with my same driver's license number, my same home address, my same telephone number, but a different voter ID number. And that's why they're not duplicates. They're duplicates except for the voter ID numbers, and sometimes the birth dates have changed.
That's crazy.
But
Well, I do
that-
want to.
And this is real. This is what we have in
It's
America.
very
This is
real.
what's going on.
And we know it. We are in this tyrannical state, but I do want to give a quick shout out to our friends at Project Civico who just spent months trying to get signatures for the SAVE Act. And right now, as we speak, they are on a bus going to D.C. to go before the senators tomorrow and the Congress and approach them. And they have meetings to mitigate this. And they're going to try to get legislation passed. There's representatives from all 50 states. And we've been tirelessly trying to get signatures for weeks now. And there's a lot of grassroots people out there trying on this side of it, too. So hopefully from the bottom up and the top down, we can get to a place where we have secure and integral voting. Some of the stuff we learned, just like you said, Peter, this 2024 election, just as a quick example, there were 800 duplicates in New York and New Jersey that voted in both places. So, to your point, that's happening. It's real. But
800 is nothing. It could be as many as 2 million in the state of New York.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely. But I have a personal feeling. To me, one fraudulent vote, one
Jail.
vote
Jail.
is a fraudulent election. If
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if it's 1, 10, 8,000, 10 million. And I think we're going to see some good stuff happening this year. I think President Trump is going to get a handle on it. I'm going to come out of this term with some very integral voting, and I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
So, so we have like about 3.5 minutes left. So we want to just talk to Peter about his book and the inspiration behind it, which we know some of it already. And I hope one day you can come to the warehouse. Maybe we'll do a book signing and get your books out to our audience. But is this the first book you wrote, right?
It's the first book I wrote, yes.
And
I needed to get it out for the 2020 election, and I got it out in the nick of time. But it was important for people to know something about our president from the past. There aren't that many people that knew him from back then that are speaking out and able to discuss him. I was in a wonderful position because we were together. So I actually know his personality. I'm sure he's got some of my sense of humor. I know I got some of his. My wife gets amazed sometimes because he says the things that I say. We had the same teachers, What can I
cut from
tell
the
you?
same cloth.
Well, that too, I think. I like to think that we both had the same thing kind of happen to us. Like, for instance, why is it that Donald Trump is the only president that promised to move the embassy to Jerusalem in Israel? That actually had the guts to do what needed to be done. Everybody else wimped out. What is it about Donald Trump that gives him the courage to do these things without even worrying about it? It's got to be done. Just do it. That's the way he is.
I love that.
Me too.
And that was something that was put into us. We went through a certain regime where the first year we were there, he was there 2 years before I was. He went in grade 8, I went in grade 10. But what they do is they scare you to death. With the older cadets, they work you to death and they scare you to death. And eventually, you stand up to them. Eventually, you overcome what it is that's scaring you. And then that goes with you for the rest of your life. And that's what Donald Trump is all about.
I love that.
Me too.
And I heard a good part of your discussion about 9/11 where you are. By the way, 9/11 is on Thursday, and it's not only important. I'm not sure if you know, and there's no time to get into what's important about that date from 1683. But I'll explain that to you next time I'm on if you'd like. But it's also Tina Peters' birthday.
Ah, wow.
And,
Well, Peter, I hate to do this to you because we only got like 35 seconds left. I hate cutting our guests off. We really hope you'll come back and chat with us some more. And I really hope that if you love Donald Trump, you're going to love this warehouse.
Oh,
that
yes.
We have. Don't let the word warehouse fool you. This is literally the most patriotic venue and production studio on the planet. When you come here, it's a feeling. We all love each other like a Patriot family.
Yeah.
I kind of fell in love with you and your lovely wife last month. It was such an honor to meet you guys. I'm going to keep in touch with your team and hopefully have you back here again. So, Peter, please send our love to your wife, and we hope you visit us soon. And we have to sign off, but thank you so much
Thanks
for being our
with
guest.
us,
Thank you,
Peter.
Peter.
Nice to meet you, Peter.
Thanks
God
for your
bless.
work. Thanks for your
Thank
work.
you, Peter.
Hey, Rav family and War Room Posse, mark your calendar. September 12th and 13th, the Rebels, Rogues, and Outlaws Tour is coming to the America First Warehouse.
I have never seen anything like this.
2 unforgettable days filled with Patriots, barbecue, and live shows straight from the most amazing place, the America First Warehouse. Get ready for a special guest to be announced, plus a 3-hour live episode of Studio 6B.
And we're just going to go do it.
On the 12th, Steve Bannon will host War Room Live at 5 p.m. And Steve will be back again on the 13th. Woo! Followed by 1 hour with Peter Navarro.
I went to prison so you won't have to.
The Rebels, Rogues, and Outlaws Tour, September 12th and 13th at the America First Warehouse. Scan the QR code to see pricing and availability. Don't miss this opportunity. Tickets won't last.
Are you a musician, comedian, actor, filmmaker, or artist who stands for traditional American values? Do you believe in the preservation of our nation, our culture, and our freedoms? If you share our passion for America and want to use your talents to make a difference, we want to hear from you. Our mission is clear. Through the arts, we uphold the principles of freedom, faith, family, and the American spirit. It's time to step up to the mic and make your voices heard. So contact us at AmericanConservativeArtists.com. The Queens Village Republican Club is America's oldest Republican club, founded in 1875. Situated in President Trump's hometown in Queens, New York, we are America First MAGA Republicans, empowering fellow Republicans to get involved in the game of politics at the grassroots level. We host inspiring monthly club meetings on the first Thursday of each month at 8 p.m. For more information, please go to our website at www.qvgop.org.
Hi, my name is Kenneth Simmons. This is a piece of freedom made from One World Trade Center, New York City, Ground Zero. And to know the true value of this steel and the sacrifice it comes with, it dates back to 9/11, 2001. Made from the most expensive material on earth, a human soul, and the life it comes from, an American citizen. And its value is more than gold, more precious than rubies, and it's few, and it's as rare as it gets, and so few will ever hold these sacred medallions. It's a gift like no other. Get a piece of freedom at apieceoffreedom.com for a hero in your life.
Yeah, but it goes fast. Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Patriots podcast. So we just had Peter Tickton on. That was incredible. I really have so much love and admiration for him.
I would like to read that. I definitely am
This is
interested.
still the boxes, but I'm sure he'll let you borrow it.
I'd like to read that.
Pass it around. Yes,
I'm
and
excited.
We're hoping to have Peter here. I'm going to talk to his team. Hopefully, they can come visit. They can see the warehouse, and we can sell his books and support him. So if you're just tuning in now or later in the show, in the first segment we had our good friend Kenneth Simmons here telling a completely heartfelt, heart-wrenching, and compelling story about 9/11. A lot of it I didn't know yet. So we're gonna do an extra episode, by the way, for all of you tuning in. So if you can stick with us after the show ends, we're gonna keep going
Extra
tonight. We're gonna
segment.
do an
Yeah.
extra
Extra segment,
segment.
yeah.
This was too important to let go. So Kenny, you were at the telling your story, which mind blowing, and we'd love you to pick back up if you can. I know it's probably hard from where you were. I know we got to like the Burger King part.
And you saw the light, and
you saw
it
the-
led you
yeah.
out. It's just like
Yeah.
crazy.
It is.
It is. And it's also, it's not something that I have rehearsed, so
That's okay. It's
whatever
from the
I'm
heart.
speaking to you comes from right. It
all
comes
good.
from the heart.
How long were you actually there at Ground Zero?
17 days, but I was there 6.5 days, no rest,
Great.
no sleep. In the end,
That's a New York
How do you-
Marine right there.
How do you do that with no sleep? Like
Heart and
how do you
soul.
function?
you know,
Adrenaline.
I don't know if it was adrenaline, but
I think
Do you compartmentalize things? Like, do you have to find a way to just keep going?
you know, when I
think it's
was
just
when I was
training.
in the Marine Corps,
Yeah.
we went through 13 weeks of boot camp where you didn't speak to no one. I mean, if you got caught talking, you got in big trouble. Drop and give me 20, and you know, add 100 to that.
You learn a lot of self-control.
That's why the
Right.
Marines are my favorite.
So, and not even that, you know, the Boy Scouts and the way I was raised, and I was raised where my boxing trainers taught me how to fight, but my mother taught me how to duck, okay? So, discipline.
Yeah.
So, and I mean it, she had a lot of kids, so. And
Love it.
so what happened was when I was sitting there and I came out of the place and there was no one. And I remember walking down and
Very
looking.
eerie, right? Eerie.
Well,
Eerie feeling.
the pieces that, you know, you think were so small because of all the dust in the air were massive. And strong as you are, you couldn't pick it up. You couldn't move it. So what I started to do was, because no one was there, I'm just walking and I started picking up things. Piece of paper, looking at a picture. And that stuff doesn't hit you right away. I found a clock. It was still ticking. There was a phone ringing. So I pick up the phone, answer the phone, pick up a computer, open it up, and it goes on. And you're wondering, well, that survived coming from all the way up there. Where's the people?
Where's the people? Yeah.
Where's the people? And then you'd find pieces of clothes. You'd find a shoe with a foot inside of it. You'd find a finger sticking up out of the dirt, so you figured there was a hole in the hand there or something. You dig around it a little bit and then poke through it and find out it's just a finger with a ring.
Oh, jeez.
Or you pick up a ring, or you pick up a watch. You pick up a wallet. You pick up photo albums. I'm like, where did these come from? Coat racks. Funniest thing about the coat racks, it still had a hat on it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It's things like that never leave you. And then when you close your eyes, it's the photos. And then you start picking up these body parts and you start putting them in a white bucket. And they say, well, you got to take that over to the morgue over there. You walk in there and you look at, and over a period of a week, outside the morgue, everybody started writing things. Whether they used a finger in the dirt, or whether they used a marker, a white marker, or something that they would mark things with. When you'd find stuff, we would mark them, and you would put that in there. I remember a hand sticking up out of the ground, and it was 5, 6 of us that, well, you know, there's got to be a body under that, and we dug around, so carefully going in, and then this gentleman walked up and just grabbed the hand, and it was just a hand. Matted hair. You know, I was telling a story before where I found a hole, so I looked inside the hole. It was deep. So I looked at the firefighter and I'm like, you know, There's a big piece of steel in there. I hit it with a shovel, and you could hear it echo. At the time, I didn't know it was a staircase, but it was a staircase. So I said to the firefighter, "You got to go in there." He looks at me and goes, "No. You're a cop. You got to go in there. No. You're iron workers. You guys are being paid. You got to go in there." No, I'm not going in there. So I'm Joe Cockala, you know. I'm like, "Oh, I can do it." Just help me get down in there. And I had no flashlights, so they gave me the green snaps.
Yeah.
You'd break it and
Yep.
glow.
Close.
And I started crawling through, and I would break one and put it behind me, and I could see it. Crawl through, break one, put behind me, see it. Now, when I say crawl through, it's not like I crawl on this floor over here around the place.
You're like under and over and yeah.
If you took everything in this room and you threw it into a pile, and you said, "Kenny, there's a $10 bill in the middle of it. Can you get it?" I could get it, but it's complicated.
It's yeah.
But this was different. This was dark, and the dust was falling. So once I started going in and making the turns and looking back, and it's strange because you're inside this mess, but the dust is still falling. Because I looked back and I couldn't see the green lights.
Oh, that's scary. It's terrifying.
And all I had was the green lights in front of me.
Right.
And my cell phone. Okay, which was
Flip phone back then, flip, right?
Yeah. And that was my light. And then I looked at it and I realized, well, my battery's going to die. I got to save this. What if I have to call somebody?
Right.
Meanwhile, I never called anybody. But when I tried, there was no signal.
service. Yeah.
And I didn't know at the time that the antennas were on top of the buildings. So when I came down, there was no cell service. So when I got down around the end of the stairwell and crawled around the other side, I lost track of where I was at.
Oof.
And I started to panic.
Yeah, I was going to say that must be terrifying.
It was because, you know, I had a son that was a little boy, and I started, oh my God, I'm never going to see him again. Because at that time, I honestly didn't think, I'm a badass. I think I am. I cried like a little girl. What did I do?
It's okay.
You
There's
know?
nothing wrong with that.
No.
You can be a very masculine, strong man and have emotions. I like that.
Okay, I like that, but men don't like that.
We like
It's
it.
human.
It's human. It
and
shows
it's
real.
So I immediately became claustrophobic at that point. I was so claustrophobic. I couldn't breathe. And I'm laying there, and I felt all the pressure on top of me. And then I heard, I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, shut up, turn those engines off, shut up, can you hear me? I could hear all that noise, but at the same time, I heard
Yeah.
Silence at the same time, right?
steel
Well, the
breaking
steel,
and the
yeah.
weight coming down.
Oh, Lord.
Everything, and they're working on top of it, so even more coming down.
Right,
Pressure.
right.
And I went in here, but now I'm not here anymore. I'm all the way over there. So if they're looking for me over here,
They're in
not
the
gonna
wrong
find
place,
me.
yeah.
I'm not right under the hole anymore.
Yeah.
And I didn't know where the hole was at. And I got so lost, you know, I defecated myself because I had to go to the bathroom. Then I peed on myself,
Yeah,
too.
I probably would have done the same thing.
And I did that a couple times. And, you know,
How did you find your way back?
I turned to God, and
That's right. That right there, folks.
I started screaming, what did I do? I'm so sorry, God. I'm so sorry. My pride and my ego got me. I'm going to die here. They're not going to find me. When they find me, I'm going to be dead because I'm breathing in all this shit.
God.
Sorry.
But you didn't.
It's
And
okay.
listen, we only have 2 minutes left in this episode, so I want to make sure in the segment that you get to anything that you want to make sure you get to
Okay.
after you finish that.
So what
I
happened
don't want
was,
you to
I was looking, I saw this diamond. I always tell everybody I saw this diamond. I was like, wow, look at that sparkle. Jewels. But it wasn't. When I put my hand in front of it to go grab it, it was a light from outside.
Oh my God, I just
And-
got the
Sounds like
chills
God
through
heard
my
you.
entire body.
When I saw the light, I said, whatever you do, don't move your hand from that. Whoever you got to crawl, keep your hand up.
Yeah.
And I did that, and I ended up crawling my way up about 6 floors. I went down, and I crawled about 6 floors up through the thing, through the rubble. And when I'm coming out, I see this firefighter there. So I grab him. I'm like, I got a body. I got a body. And at first I was afraid to touch him, but I couldn't leave him there. I see that. So I'm pulling him up. And when I came out through these big windows, and I turned and I looked at the frames of the windows, and they were massive. And it said 94th floor on it. And when I came out there, and people saw me, they started whistling, and then the alarms went off, and people started pointing. And when I picked this firefighter up, and they saw I had a body, it was like ants. These thousands of people were like little ants that scurried up to grab the body.
That was your purpose. That was your purpose. You brought closure to one family. One family.
Never knew who he was.
Doesn't matter.
And then he was down and gone, and I was left standing there looking at this, looking at there. I looked at the windows, and I said my prayer to God, and I walked down, and I remember coming down out of there, and I had I know we only got a few seconds left, but I was grateful to be alive, but I was so traumatized, and I started to break down from that point on. My feet started burning, my body started aching, and I was grabbing a hold of this rope, and I'm yanking this rope, and out of this, I thought it was a rope, and when I yanked really hard, it wasn't a rope, it was a torso. I remember turning to Bernie Carrick and saying, what bucket do you want me to put this in? So.
Well, the control room, we're going to go straight through, we just decided. So really quick, before we switch courses for a second, I hate to keep cutting this conversation short. I know the audience probably just saw the commercial that we have running for you that talks about this. I know there's a lot in between your story and getting to this point, but do you want to just tell the audience quick in your words about this, to touch on the commercial?
This is sacred steel from One World Trade Center. What happened was, like everyone else that's worked on at Ground Zero, I became sick one day, and it turned into cancer. And that cancer turned into another cancer. And from one surgery to another surgery, and from that surgery to another surgery, to my shoulder, to my left shoulder, to my rotator cuff, my left rotator cuff, to my left knee, to my right knee, to my left ankle, to a generator inside of me. One day, I was making this film, by the way, called The Rise, America's Unsung Heroes, and I interviewed 75 different heroes from 9/11, and so many of them died. And what happened was the iron workers showed up in the hospital. They found I was in the hospital, and they were upset. Hey, you made this movie. What are you trying to do? They came in to see me, and I was 280 pounds, but it was rock. And now I weighed 138 pounds. And they looked at me, and I could see it in their eyes, and they were like, Kenny, you're strong. When you hit the ground breaks. You're going to beat this. You're going to beat this. What's going to happen to the movie? So I said, you're iron workers. Can you talk to the unions, get me some money so we can finish the film? Because it's about you. It's about how we all came together. It was doctors, it was nurses, it was people that washed the eyes, it was people that brought food down. It was a restaurant worker, I forget his name off the top of my head. I want to say his name, but the man that owned the restaurant that served 1 million dishes, and his entire inside of his restaurant sits in a room in the Smithsonian Institution.
Became an operation, center.
So I said, well, they go, we can't get you money, but what we can do is we can get you steel. You can take that steel and make something out of it. So I did get the steel, but then once I got the steel, this guy says to me, how do we know it's from 9/11? So I had to wait 4 years for the New York, New Jersey Port Authority to verify where I got the steel, how I got the steel, and that they gave me the steel, and the 9/11 rescue workers gave me the steel, and to verify the steel was from One World Trade Center, New York City. And then I went out and I found the artist, John Krosak. Now, John created the awesome cross that stands in front of the church down there in Trinity, the one that replica of the Iron Cross that they found that is in the museum. He took the steel from 9/11 and he made the cross. I got that artist to design this.
I actually have cut 5 control room. If you can pull that up, please. It's a picture of the iron of the cross.
I don't think I could zoom in, but it's so beautiful.
Yeah. And of the artist himself. Yeah.
Now,
I don't know if they're hearing me or not. There it is.
The
Yeah.
back says "God bless America's heroes" with a cross. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So if you see the grooves on the piece of freedom and then the grooves on the cross,
Yeah.
those represent the different sides of humanity. So I said, wow, can you design this for me? Now here's a real wild story. I looked all over for this guy, I couldn't find him. I'm living in Malibu at the time, and some guy came to repair something at the house one day, and he saw it, and he goes, wow, this looks awful familiar. And I go, what do you mean? He says, that artist that you're talking about, he lives right up the street. And
Oh,
I said, what?
Another God moment right there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He drove me over to John's house.
Wow.
And I said,
What are the
John.
odds of that?
Yeah, right?
I said, this is the design that you did. I said, this is what I want. And I showed him my paperwork. And he sat down. And he says, well, I'd love to do this for you. And, so once we got the steel, we got the thing, then we got the melter. This is all made by hand. This beautiful piece of freedom is all made by hand. It's handmade, every single piece, no machinery, all right? The darkness is the darkness that surrounded us at 9/11. And the little glows that come around the edges, that's the light. That's the light of humanity shining through. And the steel is America rising back up.
Oh, I got you.
That's what it meant. That's why I had this made. And on the back, it says, God bless America's heroes. Okay?
Beautiful.
God bless. This is the original. God bless America's heroes. I left the space in the middle so anybody could, carve a name into
Right,
it.
right.
Now,
Gorgeous.
I've given this to so many patriots, and people are like, well, it's $2,000. You're charging so much. I said, listen, I've never sold one. I said, I've only given them away. Firefighters, cops, Marines, heroes.
Today, Joe the Box got one.
Not just heroes from 9/11, but heroes in the private sector, school teachers,
Sure, yeah.
mentors.
So we're going to have them up on our website for you. We're going to get them up this week. I think we're going to have one somehow for raffle, I think, this weekend for the events, which you're going to come to, right? We're going to
Yeah.
have you this weekend. And we'll get to that at the end. So we will look out for these. And you saw the commercial on, we'll keep playing that commercial for you, of course. We'll keep playing that. And is there a site?
It's called a pieceoffreedom.com.
That's right.
And not like the peace sign, but like a piece. P-E-I-C-E.
P-I-E-C-E.
Perfect. That's amazing.
Pieceoffreedom.com.
Kenneth,
And-
I love you. This is a great.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna get these pushed out for him. Please say a prayer for him and his journey, and a little bit of gratitude in your heart because you are a hero to us.
Thank you.
So
Thank you for
you
what
so
you
much,
did.
ladies.
In so many ways, as a
your
veteran,
service,
as a
yeah.
patriot, and as a survivor of 9/11. Thank you for that.
Yes.
So yes, but stay with us. We're gonna go an extra segment now. So we're gonna touch on some things that we needed to get to. We'll get some announcements done, and then we'll pray. But
Yeah.
it was a nice unexpected surprise to do an extra segment.
Well, yeah, and thank you for coming on and staying with us. I
It's
think
been a long day for him today.
one of the things that we really just wanted to touch on tonight was the fact that we are upon the 24th anniversary of 9/11 is upon us this Thursday, and so your timing here today is perfect.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm a nurse, and I worked at Good Samaritan in West Islip, and I worked that day. And a lot of nurses marry firefighters, and a lot of firefighters that were married to nurses were at the Trade Center. And we saw the smoke. It was such a clear, pristine day.
Yeah.
You can see them from Good Samaritan, from the upper floors, from the west-facing windows. And, those are moments that none of us will ever forget in the country, but certainly not New Yorkers and anybody that was directly impacted. We all, I think, can say we lost people.
But I can tell you play by play
Yep.
how my day went on 9/11.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Can I tell you a quick story, ladies? I'm sorry. Because you brought up firefighters. I filmed this guy. His name's John. He's from Long Island. Now, his wife and his sister-in-law called him up that day. Couldn't find his brother, screaming at him, you got to hear your brother. He goes, no, he wasn't working today. He's off. Now, I did all these interviews, like I said. And these aren't just regular interviews. These are real heroes from 9/11. So the guy comes to me and, hey, I got a story for you. And I go, okay. He starts telling me the story. And they were hollering at him. And he goes, no, John, he wouldn't at work. But if he did, he showed up after the buildings fell. So, he's good. 2 days later, no one heard from him. Now the lady shows up at his house, his sister-in-law, she's crying her eyes out. His wife is screaming at him. He goes, okay. He goes down to Canal Street, tries to get in. He can't get in. He goes home to his brother's house because he can't go to his house, his wife and his sister-in-law are there. And he's like, You know how you girls are. And he opened up the closet door and saw his brother's uniform there, firefighter. He put it on. He went down to ground zero. Now, this is an incredible story. And it's only short for you ladies, but 2 weeks later, he himself found his brother's remains.
Oh my gosh.
He was determined to get his,
I'm telling you.
He found them when no one else, when everybody gave up on him.
God touched so many lives that day.
Yeah.
And after.
Out of the ashes.
Yes.
Out of the ashes and rubble came so many incredible stories and beautiful moments.
Firefighters are heroes.
Mm-hmm.
They are.
So are police officers. Don't get me wrong.
100%. Yeah.
But firefighters, they risk it all.
Yeah.
So does a cop. But I mean, you run into a burning building, there's a chance you might not come out.
That's right.
No doubt.
Yep.
No doubt.
Fearlessly.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's important that we just remember that this is the 24th anniversary this Thursday, and there are incredible ceremonies that happen every year all over the country. But they will, in New York City, have a ceremony. The families of victims will gather at Memorial Plaza at the rebuilt Towers of Freedom. They always read all of the names of those killed in the 9/11 attacks aloud. They have moments of silence. And so if you can tune in and at the least find a moment of silence yourself that day to honor all the people that were lost and the people that were impacted. There were...
I usually do it twice, right? I usually remember to do it twice.
Do it twice. There were like 2,977 victims.
Actually, there's over 30,000 people that have died since then. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Oh, my college friend was a first responder, and he passed away from a glioblastoma, yes.
People that live down there, cancer.
Yep.
Just 30,000 people. I didn't know that. I saw that on the news 2 days ago.
Yeah, thank you for pointing that out.
And it's
more
like
than just that day.
We were saying before, it's easy to, it just kind of, you forget. You don't want to forget. You should never forget. It's stories like yours, your own story, telling it, that bring it back and brings a new appreciation, a new sense of gratefulness for all those who rushed into that building, who did whatever they could to help. It's those stories that keep it alive.
Yep.
So don't ever forget.
And
don't ever
stop
forget to
telling
tell your story.
Yeah.
There's so few of us left.
Yeah.
There's so few of us left.
It is so important to tell that story.
I found out that just recently that there was close to 5,000 people down there. And now there's less than 600 alive and 300 on life support. Almost 400, I'm sorry. 390 some are on life support.
My gosh.
And I found out literally that I'm one of the last living survivors from the Bucket Brigade.
Well, we're grateful to have you with us. And thank you for all you've done and continue to do, Kenneth,
right.
truly, from the bottom of our hearts.
I'm not a hero, ladies. I'm just...
No, it just really... I'm gonna cry. I'll let you guys finish.
Well, we appreciate you being with us tonight, and we'll look forward to having you here this weekend for the event and hearing more from you. You're inspiring, and
you're a treasure.
Yeah.
You're a national treasure.
Thank you.
A national treasure. I love that adage. T, do you have any announcements that
We
you
do.
want to get to?
You'll see in the commercial. I'm going to keep it kind of short. Control, if you can bring up KDJ's asset for me, please. Kevin Downey Jr., good friend of ours. He's on LI News Radio, 103.9 every day, Monday through Friday. So take a peek at that, and please tune and listen to him. He's a great supporter of ours, and we love him so much. And then, if you can bring up the other asset, the Rebels, Rogues, and Outlaws, because it is going to be electric here on Friday and Saturday. The America First Warehouse is working tirelessly around the clock with Real America's Voice for an all-star epic 2-day event this Friday the 12th and Saturday the 13th. Steve Bannon's War Room will be coming live. Right where we are sitting right now will be Steve Bannon at this table, which just blows my mind. Now I'm starting to get excited.
It's exciting, I know.
Now all the hard work is turning into excitement.
Yeah,
Peter
that's very
Navarro,
exciting.
Mayor Rudy Giuliani, Lara Logan is now coming with our dear friend Jason Shepard.
Love that.
I think I heard Ben Bergquam's a possibility, David Bratt's a possibility, I think John Solomon's a possibility. I'm hearing all sorts of other names, but the Bannon, Navarro, Giuliani, Lara Logan, Jason Shepard, those are confirmed both days. Check out our website. There's a QR code.
Exciting.
It's going to be super cool
Epic.
here.
Are we sleeping here overnight?
Probably. I've been basically sleeping here for the last 2 years, but the last few weeks I've been really working
Get
hard
your
around the
tickets,
clock.
everyone.
It's Friday, by the way, Friday sold out a couple hours ago before the show, so right now tickets are only available on Saturday, but Saturday's a jam-packed day. Doors open at 9 a.m., Bannon goes on 10 to 12. From 12 to 1, you'll sit down with Bannon and Navarro at this table, going over their stories about prison and the books, and then there'll be a meet and greet, and then you'll have a 2-hour town hall with these amazing all-star casts. So you don't want to miss it here. There's a gourmet barbecue included. You get Peter Navarro's book included with your ticket. It's going to be epic. So we'll see you then.
All right.
Thank you.
Wow, I'm excited.
Would you like to join us in prayer, closing prayer?
I would love to.
Okay.
Thank you.
Heavenly Father, we come before you today with grateful hearts, thanking you for the gift of life, the blessings of family, and the freedoms we hold dear. Lord, we remember those who sacrificed so much on September 11th, especially the brave souls who ran toward danger to save others. And we lift up those survivors and their families, and whose courage continues to inspire us. We thank you for the example of service and perseverance in our guest today, Kenny Simmons, who risked everything to help his fellow man and now shares stories of hope and healing. We thank you for Peter Tickton, whose dedication to justice and lifelong friendships remind us of loyalty, integrity, and the importance of standing for truth. Father, we ask that you continue to bless our families, strengthen our faith, and protect the freedoms we cherish. Help us live with courage, compassion, and purpose, honoring those who have gone before us, serving in love. May the stories we hear today inspire us to be the lights in this world, showing your grace, mercy in every action. We pray all of this in your Son's name, Jesus Christ. Amen. And as always,
Amen.
keep your faith strong, your family close, and your freedom alive.
Thank you for tuning in, everybody. God
Good
bless.
night, everybody. God bless
Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Peter Tickton. Another Marine in the audience over there. Thank you, Don.
Thank you, Don.
Love
Thank
you
you,
guys.
Don.
Thank you for sticking with us an extra few
Semper
minutes.
Fi, dog.